recording this right after 77. A couple of comments also worth mentioning. No, Vert did not come from second last in the category. He came from fifth. The only vehicle he actually passed was Silver. But to say that you've actually passed somebody as an AI car says a little bit anyway. Especially on a track like Nürburgring, passing isn't exactly super easy for these AI on that track. And the other thing is, Eggman finished last out of the vehicles in, second last in the vehicles in this category. But, because of how many of us beat him, that's probably still a bit of a, no way, I can't believe this moment. So, let's run through this starting grid here. Stupid 55 car is back. It's not Buttercup. You can tell because there's no yellow on her car. I'm playing as Ben 10. Also here is Monica again. I can't tell what number that is. I think that's 16. That's Thrasher if that's the case. Vert is back again. This guy. And Remelia, the other kind of like half our side, half not. Unfortunately, no Toho characters are here to convince her otherwise, so we've got a problem there. If only that were the 15, maybe then we'd have snapped her out of it. But nope. Instead, Remelia is a more important opponent. However, she doesn't have the best starting spot, and if Vert can pass her, then that will be a pretty an eye-opening experience, I guess. Joining us for the GT3 category, we do have Battle Rocket, and that is it. But for the GT4 category, we have that, as well as Octane, and XT3. Actually, when I went through this list the first time, I forgot that was his car. But yep, that's XT3 there as well. So we got a bit of representation in all of the classes this time, while we did before. Albeit, well, now we have more. And, well, it's still Renault in GT3, but I guess that'll kind of happen when we've got, like, 9 characters on that car. I think it's, like, what, 9? 16 Angels, Battle Rocket, that, Remelia, Saclia, Juno, Marissa, Reimu, Nitari. Yeah, 9. 9 characters. On the same vehicle. 5 of which from the same place. 6. Can't count. And then it's just 16 Angels, that, and Battle Rocket on it normally. I think that's still more than any other car has on GT3. I mean, yeah, now there's like 12 characters driving a 4GT and another 11 driving Corvettes. But there's also only 6 cars to pick from in GTE, as opposed to, what, 14 in GT3? I'm not counting that out. But anyway, on to the actual race information, again. We have Spa. This is, well, a very endurance-based track. So GTE cars should be right at home here. And as the race proceeds, assuming she sticks with us, I will continue to elaborate on Monica's inclusion in the series. But I'm going to get through the first lap first. Oh! Okay, I'm just going to wait. I probably should have maybe turned in. This is interesting. Too wide through this corner doesn't really work. I'm just going to sit back and see how the heck this goes. Maybe keep Thrasher in place here. Yeah, Monica just backs out, don't blame you. That's a terrible idea, and the game knows that. I should have been ready for that, but for some reason I just kind of wasn't, so that's just oof. No damage. So that's a good thing. Monica's gonna go for it. This is a place where you can do it. I've just missed entirely. Thrasher just absolutely yeeted me. Well, we never said Ben 10 was the best driver either, so... Monica's taken the lead. Now I actually have to stick with her if I'm going to start talking about her. That might be easier said than done the way that I've been driving so far. I've not hit a single godforsaken apex. Alright, I'm not going to do that either. Also observe the way that I take the corner versus the way that the AI do. Excuse me, 55 car! Cripes! I cannot turn. Am I on softs? Yes, okay, then I really don't know why this car's not turning. This will be a unique display of sheer incompetence, but nonetheless a unique display, as I'm now being caught up again by the stupid 55 car. I made a corner. It wasn't pretty, but I've made a turn. Whoa, I wasn't braking early, I was just braking conservatively, and look where that's gotten me. On the upside, this car is very stable. I would never even think of spinning now, because I can barely even get into the corner in the first place. Oh my god, guys, I did it. I hit an apex. Where's my medal? Christ. Oh, and I gotta do, like, 8 more laps of that? Math. No, way more than that. Ooh, 6th Gear Rouge. I don't want to do that. Maybe I do, who knows, but... I did make the turn. More than I can say for pretty much the other 2/3 of this track. I see you in my mirror. You're not crafty. I see you trying to attack upon me. Front tires are cold, but the rears aren't. That is interesting. I guess it's probably because it's a rear-wheel drive car, but... I haven't been sliding at all. Okay, no turning. Thresher is going to now impose himself upon that BMW. Do what I seem incapable of doing. Other characters that are relevant and, like, actually make turns. I mean, I made it, but it wasn't very fast. I suppose the dirty air might have been a problem. Also, yes, this is a smaller car count, despite being at a bigger track. I'm aware. It doesn't always based off of track size, you know? Besides, we got more relevant characters in this race than we did in the last one with 2 extra cars. GTE cars cannot do that! That's not even like a player can't do that. No. I'm just scratching my head. That was a terrible decision. GTE vehicles cannot make that corner like that. He gains speed through the turn. I would like you to be all aware, fully aware that that's what just happened, and that doesn't make any sense. An F1 car can do that, yeah. We are a very far cry from that. Well, the car couldn't be more stable up Eau Rouge, so... I guess that's a positive, but... My god, the AI just cheat around here. I thought it was bad at Barcelona. They aren't good at that corner, but unfortunately they are good here. They have literally like 3 different cheat spots on this track. There was my attempt at making that corner anywhere near the speed they can take with it. And as you saw, I was nowhere near the track limits. Well, at least I've gotten really, really far away from Amelia back there, and by extension, everybody else. For the moment. Actually, I can take it flat out, barely, but it requires me hooking a curb and then track extending. So it's therefore very not practical. As now the 55 car actually thought about a move on Thrasher, but I wasn't close enough. I am over here. That is not where I need to be at all. I thought it was on high. It was not. Oh boy, Eau Rouge 30 Air, here's the real test of this car's stability. And we can do this correctly. Kind of. Maybe not. Sort of. It could have been a lot worse, I tell you what. GT cars can make that flat out, but I think that's mostly GT3s. I don't know about GTEs for sure. Why do I suck at this corner? I was trying to say why do I suck and I hate this corner at the same time, so I just kind of said parts of both. Nerd. Yeah, you see what I mean? Like, that's probably as fast as I can humanly take it. And I just cannot make that turn for my life. Ugh! See, I really don't always follow the slow in, fast out strategy, do they? Oh my god, it is dark! What the heck? Nope. We're fine. But did I die? No. Careful on the brakes. That honestly should have been a lot more damage than... Get out of the grass! It's a GT3. That's keeping up with GTEs. That's really awkward. Then again, we saw that lose to multiple GT3s in the last race. I really don't know if I'm fully to blame or the car was, in fact, not as stable as I thought it was through there. I couldn't tell you. All I know is this is way too much damage to carry on. Okay, good. There's nothing set on that. I didn't want to change my tires or anything. Changing my tires may not be the worst thing, but I don't want to refuel the car, because fuel consumption is off. Also, now I make this corner when my car is wrecked. Sure. I just thought about the left-hand kink. How the heck am I going to do that? How am I going to do this, apparently, is also a question I should be asking. What the heck? Was there a puddle there? More GT3s. Oh boy. There's a Bentley. Renault. Janetta. None of these are actually relevant characters, so that's kind of unusual. Oof. I have survived. Okay. Ben showing that heroic spirit. Not actually give up, but this isn't exactly a cartoon show, you know? This will definitely put me in last. And considering the length of this race, oh, so much for the cinematic cameras. I guess we just don't. I have control of the camera at least. I have no control of the car though. Also, 30 seconds on that repair isn't terrible. I'm encountering GT4s. Well. Don't look at those split times in the left corner because those are not accurate at all. Top left corner, bottom right or bottom left is correct. I'm ahead of some GT3s. Let's see here, trying to math quickly, or I can just look at the scoreboard. What is that GT3? What car is that GT3 if he's behind a GT4 car? GT3s being ahead of GTEs isn't unheard of. But there's a drastic difference between GT3s and 4s. I'm eager to catch up to that GT3 and see just what car it is and why it is fighting a GT4. And before that, Sakuya somehow. Not Sakuya, Battle Rocket. That would be really painfully ironic. Sakuya was the one in the last race in the GT3. Shouldn't take me too long, assuming I don't crash again, to catch this GT3, 4. Too much GT. Didn't need those cones anyway. Now that's how one comfortably takes it. Now that you know what the corner is actually supposed to look like. Now there's that leading the GT, not leading GT4 category. Doesn't surprise me. The KTM does not have the best top speed, so therefore it's not very well suited to this track. Also, the way the different classes will be working from here is, oh! Other classes will be in the races, but I don't think I'll be using GT4 cars anymore. I may use the occasional GT3 race. And no, I'm not taking any amount of responsibility for what happened there. Also, he's not pitting, surprisingly. I was expecting him to stay over there. I also have no front bumper, but still only have 1 aero damage. What? That doesn't make any sense at all. What? This thing should be absolutely totaled right now, if that's the case. I have no front bumper. They just ripped it clean off, and the game is just like, minor scratch. Like, no, that's not how it works. Oh, we're not turning again. We're back to this. Luckily the curbs there on this game are not nearly as bad as they are in real life or in the F1 game. Otherwise I'd be out of the race by now. As we approach the actual lead GT4 car, which appears to be a BMW, again. I cannot brake. I cannot accelerate either. Oh. And this car don't like that turn much anymore. It used to be faster than the AI with it. Now it barely wants to take it at all. Yes, I do believe that is an M3 ahead of me. Just try and out top speed it. It should be certainly feasible. Yeah, a little bit. I would say so. Alright, no turning. GT3 probably made that faster than me. Oh my god! I have never driven a car this understeery in the GTE class anyway. I've driven the road cars in this game, they never turn, but this is different. See? I should totally be dead right now. But I'm just not. On this episode of I Shouldn't Be Alive, also that was not at all necessary. Also, tires are not keeping any kind of heat in them whatsoever. There we go, that's more of what I thought this car was doing before. That felt terrible. Oh, probably because it was, but... This one, I imagine Ben 10's entire objective is just to bring the car in to the pits in 5 minutes, you know. Survive. Current objective, survive. I think we will still have just about 3 laps to go after this one. That's how that corner normally looks. But that's nowhere near how the AI takes it. Yeah, I'm very much off speed here. I'm 5 seconds off of what that Matthew guy ran. I don't know what car that is. Broke late. Bad time to pause. I'm not even sure if I'm faster than the GT3 car ahead of me. No, I'm not. So we will have to wait to the end of the race to find out who that is. that had to fight against a GT4 car. Well, that's not supposed to look. Professional. But it's like that one weird, like, mannequin head meme where the word professional is not spelled right. Minute and change behind the leader of the race, which I assume might still be Monica. Very impressive if that's the case. Never really got a chance to talk about her in this race either because I wasn't able to stay with them. This car sucks. Those curbs are all death on the F1 games, by the way. The curbs in this game, this track in this game anyway, are very lenient. That should have killed me. Well, this one usually isn't the problem. That one can do some damage. Don't hit that one in F1, or even this. Just don't hit curbs in F1. But meanwhile, this is like the only one on this track, the inside there, that really poses a risk to GT cars. At least, you know, as far as this game is concerned. That's the grass. It's not really where you're supposed to have your car. Yeah, I would definitely say it's 2 to go here. I mean, even if I were the leader, it would be 2 to go. Barely, but 2 to go. We're getting more into the correct pace, 223. Well, I broke well enough. Despite locking up, it's still better than I did last time. What? Oh. That's concerning. Physics at Spa don't seem to be behaving correctly right now. We'll just check in with the lead group as they run their final lap here. Yes, it is still Monica leading. Quite impressive considering what she did in, or how her race went before. They're coming to lap that. Thrasher's going to send it on Monica. That might be the move made there. So it was. Monica still got a few more chances to undo that. But Thrasher seems pretty rapid here. Yeah, I can't do that. I have to go below 110 to make that turn. GT4 car up there could prove to be an issue for Thrasher, though, if Monica's close enough. She will have draft, and Thrasher's going to catch it at a 63. No, it isn't. It's white and blue, not white and red. Monica's actually going to have the problems instead. Yeah, I can't do that. Simply cannot. So Thrasher is going to win. This Toyota has made a mess of himself. Vert's still going to kind of end up in 4th. Could not defeat the Aston Martins again. Amelia will come home in 6th, only beating a singular Corvette, and we don't know who that is. So this Porsche will win GT3. Our Battle Rocket didn't do great at all. Actually, he came last in the category. Considering he started 2nd, that's pretty disappointing. Also, hang on. Oh, never mind. Number 107. It's not anybody at all. Octane will come in 3rd, which is decent. XT3 will lose to Octane. And that is... I did say his car lacked speed, so I guess, like, you know, that's certainly cursed him here. So, first of all, lockup. Oops. This is... None of this is making any sense to me. Also, my bumper is not attached right now. That's not supposed to be like that. Yeah, the wall just, like, reached out and, like, grabbed my car. And so, of course, then all that damage accrued from that crash that should never have happened made that. Not exactly sure how Ben's gonna hold up to that. He's only like 15, 6, I don't know how old he actually is. I know he's like 10 in the original series, because Ben 10, haha. I think he's like 16, and I think he remains 16 in Fusion Fall. So he's the exact same age as the Powerpuff Girls are in Fusion Fall. So he aged 6 years and 3 years. The Powerpuff Girls aged 11 years and 11 years. But for the first 7 of those years, they didn't age at all. And being that they look basically not human, you would think they wouldn't age. But apparently they do. So, I don't know. But at any rate, I'd be surprised if the first hit... I wouldn't be surprised if the first crash that just like angered physics had killed him, because this definitely seems like some sort of like suspect thing going on here. Also, my headlight is out before I even hit the inside wall. But if he survived that, then I don't see how this crash could possibly be fatal. He was doing like 80. I'm gonna actually look in the cockpit and get an idea of how fast he was going. Yeah, it's like 90 at the impact. So I imagine he was probably thinking the car was going to slide the other way as he reached the turn, and then that's why he turned left. The car remained in control through the right-hander part, and then that turn left just made the suspension go all cockeyed, and then we had this result. Meanwhile, I suppose this crash back here wasn't very high impact. Actually, we'll see what it looked like from the cockpit. That's at like 50 miles an hour. And that's just more like rubbing aggressively. I don't really know how this really works, but that crash was not very fast at all. Yeah, like 50 miles an hour. So, yeah, that's not... not a bad crash. And I guess with that all in mind, this probably would have been a worse crash. So some time has passed. Ben 10 will survive this. Not very well though. He probably won't be racing again anytime soon. This might go down as out of series but not canonically dead, so that doesn't really have a huge influence on the storyline of the series, but other than him not being a part of it, but he is no longer involved. He claims some sort of weird physics certainly happened in the first crash. Seemed to attempt to tear him a little bit. Probably did. But he thinks that because he got his car removed from the wall somehow so quickly. Oh, nice picture. Yeah, so that's probably what injured him. I can totally see how that would make some sense. Whatever weird physics tried to pull his car also probably tried to pull his body in some ways that it wasn't meant to be pulled, so... yeah, that's probably why some things are probably out of place, probably torn out of their sockets. I'm sure his arms are absolutely jelly right now. But he attempted to drive anyway, and then the suspension, combined with his weak, shaky arms from crashing in such a weird way, caused this one. Caused the other crash that totaled the car, but didn't really necessarily total him anymore, and he'd already been totaled. Yeah, so we think that's Ben out of the series, but he's not out of existence, which is probably a good thing, because well, obviously the Cartoon Network characters are close friends with him. Dexter, especially Bubbles, apparently. They were dating at one point, from what I've heard, but it didn't work because they were always too busy. Especially during the whole giant evil invader thing crisis. So yeah. Mike is having a stroke here. Yeah, so Ben is alive, but he may not be recovering before the end of the series. If he does, it's going to certainly be a last-second appearance. And the way his car was handling, I don't think he would want to either, so I don't think he would want to do that unless necessary. So if we see any 40 cars, it's not Ben. It's somebody else. Kind of like how we saw the 19 and 71 cars in the last race, despite Danny being deceased and the professor no longer driving as a direct result of that.